Alright, good morning, family. Hey, welcome to Malay Common News. Alright, family, I'm getting ready to go to work, so I wanted to make this broadcast to you before I went into work. Alright, family, it's about 5:03 in the morning. I'm sitting outside my work area, and let me continue with what I brought out yesterday. Alright, family, as I stated yesterday, the Federal Reserve had an emergency meeting and they cut the federal funds rate down to zero. Alright? Now, at the moment of this announcement, there were several other announcements that came out. Alright, there's three consecutive announcements, but I'm going to go over two of them. The first one I mentioned that the Federal Reserve cut the federal funds rate down to 0%. Alright, the next one is, and this is also more important, they came out and announced that not only the Federal Reserve, the Bank of Canada, the Bank of England, European Central Bank, and the Swiss Bank, along with other banks, central banks around the world, have coordinated. They've announced coordination to keep liquidity going throughout the world financial system. That means they're going to dump billions and trillions of dollars into the world banking system to try to keep it liquid, to try to keep money flowing. All right, this is real, family, and this is happening. All right. Now, here in the U.S., the moment that the Federal Reserve made that announcement, remember Jerome Powell, he's the chairman of the Federal Reserve. Remember, family, the Federal Reserve is not a U.S. bank. It is a privately foreign-owned bank. And yes, the people who run it in the U.S., who sits on the boards of it, are U.S. citizens. But the owners of the Federal Reserve are not U.S. citizens. They're foreign nationals. Alright? The Federal Reserve is a private bank. They've existed way outside their charter. Alright? Now let's get back on track. When the Federal Reserve made that first announcement that they're going to the federal funds rate down to 0%, that immediately sent a shockwave through the precious metal. Cryptos went up. Gold, silver, titanium, platinum, rhodium, all sorts of precious metals went skyrocketing. Alright? And as when I went to bed last night, I checked the futures market. So far, the S&P Futures market had reached limit down, and they halted futures market for S&P. I didn't see the rest of them, so I can't tell you that. I'm not going to try to. But one thing other than I did see was that you're looking at pretty much almost over, as of right now, when I went to bed last night. It could be changing by the time when the stock market opens up in a few hours. Alright? That they're looking at a massive downturn when the stock market opens. I'm talking about almost 2,000, over 2,000 points down. That will completely erase what they gained on Friday. Yes, family. They got a $2,000 bump to the high end on Friday. But if it's what indications come up this morning, yesterday when I went to bed, that will be erased the moment the opening bell opens at 9:30 a.m. on East Coast time. All right. Be ready, family. Please be ready. All right. I went out last night to the stores, and pretty much I picked up a last bit of supplies and stuff for me and my family. Not much, because I took the necessary steps and got ready ahead of time. And I hope, family, you got ready ahead of time. But most of the shelves were empty. Family, I need you. I hope you got ready. All right. Please be ready for what's coming. Please get ready, family. All right. There's all sorts of money flowing around about everybody needs this aid package, this and this. But we not getting it. They still playing the same shuck and jive, family. They're not giving us no money. All right. Please be ready, family. When the stock market opens, be ready, because it's coming. We said it before on this channel. The East Coast will get the first initial wave. The Central Time Zone will get almost the very last. The Pacific Time Zone, the Mountain Time Zone, may get the last bit of chance. By the time the West Coast wakes up, Guam, Hawaii, and Guam, it's too late, unless you're paying attention on the East Coast time. So if it's 9:30 on the East Coast, think 3 hours back. That's 6:30 in the morning West Coast time. That means they are watching, they know what's going on, and they're getting out before the final word spread gets out. All right. Coordinated central banks around the world have started coordinating because they realize what's coming. Global liquidity. That means money is drying up, and those announcements mean they're going to work together to dump money into the market to try to keep the liquidity going, the money flowing, so we don't have a credit freeze. Family, if there's a credit freeze, ATMs will shut. ATMs possibly could shut down. Your checking and debit cards probably will freeze up. Probably won't have any access to all your money. Or if you have limited access to money, they'll be introducing capital controls to where you can only go to ATM and take out maybe a few dollars here and there, and maybe a maximum of every for the entire week. All right, capital controls is real. They've already started around the world. All right, another possibility that could be happening, family. Most people don't even think about negative interest rates. All right, with the federal funds rate down to zero, there's already speculation and talk about going down to negative rates. That means for people with bank accounts, you're gonna be paying the bank to keep your money in there. It sounds far-fetched. It sounds like some BS, but family, yes, it is. Some countries are already at negative interest rates. Don't be surprised it comes into the U.S. If you have to, family, pull a little bit of cash out. I'm not suggesting it. I'm not recommending it. But this is what I've done. Pull a few cash out so you can have a cash on hand for emergencies that it might come up, just in case they do go to negative interest rates, or we have a credit freeze and the banks shut down, or they have limited operations where they have capital controls. All right, family. Please, family, take the necessary precautions to be safe. Thank you for joining me for another edition of Melon Economic News. Stay safe, family, and I see you when it's all over. I'll be broadcasting throughout this whole process. All right, family, let's get it started.